look at you and start saying, hello there. so, you know. So you're the boogeyman. So this goes to a question that was posed with us about in the room, and it was stating, and actually I posed it, but I'm going to have to make a shout out to my man Ron Don. There you go, Dave. See, he always on point. See, I like that. There you go, Dave. Go on and do that, bro. See, I want to go get my roller skates just right now. Hey, you was jamming on that song, wasn't he? He had that down. So what was going on is that this was a question, and I want to shout to Rondon because actually he had the post in the room that had the most comments. I think we ended up doing, 250? Right at 250.
Yeah, was it that one about the welfare?
Yeah, the welfare. Actually, I was thinking we should do a show on that, but they would probably just try to take it all over about how the welfare system has destroyed the black family. We'll probably hit that one up on next week. But I got to give some props to Rondon on that one. Yeah. So this one here, because we got to finish up our series. We had 12 parts. Was about people who insist on being in the dark relationships. Now, when I say in the dark relationships, let me sip my coffee here. I'm not talking about relationships where people are telling or promoting their private person or their private business. Because I'm going to be honest with you, Head Sanford, I didn't even know you were getting married till you told me. I didn't see you promote your fiance a lot. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. People.
Yeah, you didn't never see us?
No, I never saw that.
We got pictures all over the. Well, no, we didn't.
I mean, yeah, you didn't. No, I didn't see you just every week. Hey, this is my boo. Now I know I knew you was with her.
Yeah.
But some people feel the need every time they go out for a McDonald's burger to put their boo in.
That's why I don't do that. We may post together probably once every 6 months because some people just keep posting that every day,
Yeah, I know some people.
But if they do that, more than likely the relationship was on its way out.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm listening at this, and the issue is, you got a woman or a man. They come and try to get into a relationship with you, and they want to have an ongoing sexual relationship, friendships with benefitships / situationships. But they told you from day one you will never be dating material to them. Everybody don't get quiet at the same time. Okay? You'll never be dating material to them. You'll never be boo material. You'll never be hubby material. You'll never be wifey material. You'll never be anything going past laying.
But they don't usually say it like that. They usually say,
well, of course nobody says it like that. What do you mean?
That's it. Well, right now,
how are you doing? My name is Django.
Yeah,
you will never get there.
Well,
or how's it in with the 5 hobby? You ain't gonna get it.
But you know how they do it, because I used to do this. I admit it. They'll say, "Well, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, but maybe in the future."
Okay, you know what?
But so you get.
You want to get me started? You want to get me started on that?
Well, that's a disclaimer that he just gave. But from what you're saying that on the front end, that even though this person didn't come out and say it word for word, they made it known. They made it known what was going to happen. And if the other person is accepting of those terms, why is anybody mad?
Okay, wait a minute.
Hold on. There's no reason to be mad. If he or she, yes, I just shushed you. If he or she lays it out that this is the way it's going to be,
right?
No matter how off the wall it might sound to another person, and the other party accepts it, then who is anyone else to judge?
Oh, who is anyone else?
Who is anyone else to judge?
Well, isn't she quaint this morning?
Well, I know. Well, women used to tell me when I say that, they said, "Well, you was halfway there, halfway not," because you said that you wasn't looking for a relationship now, but maybe in the future. So that gave me a glimpse of hope to still date you, hoping that we will have a relationship.
Sound on this because I'm going to have to
But did you tell them that the word maybe was in capital letters?
No, but see, you just wait
with
over
stars
there,
around
I'm going to deal with you in a minute.
Okay.
They talk about this, bro. What's going on here?
I was,
look at Dave.
There's this company in Sweden that just found ruby cocoa beans, and it's kind of like a ruby chocolate. It's pink.
It's pink.
Yeah, it actually looks. Oh, I'm sorry. I was.
Thank you. Are you okay?
No, I was.
You having a flashback, bro?
No, I was just reading about. I like to cook and stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting. But anyway, I agree with the sister over there. I think people get so caught up in what they think other people's relationship should be.
Right.
Okay. And if two people agree that all we gonna do is knock boots, we good with that. That's their business. Ain't nobody else's business but theirs.
Well, let me ask you a question because I'm going to hit on what Head Sanford talked about over here. The issue with that is like he said, nobody really comes out and says that. Nobody sits around and tells you, look, we smashing. That's the term these days. We smashing, ain't nothing coming to this. Now, it's an unwritten assumption that that's what it is. But nobody sits around because basically, if a person tells you that, hold on, first of all, you up here cheesing? Are you up here cheesing? Up on my show cheesing? What I'm saying is that even if nobody says that, people do that. In other words, let me ask you a question. You got a guy you strongly attracted to him. Tall, dark, handsome, rock like, whatever.
Okay.
Now, hold on, but he tell you he going to give you the business.
Okay, The Rock. Okay.
And he tell you can like the business or you can hate the business. Mm-hmm. But if you like the business, you're not ever going nowhere with him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, but here's the thing. He's not going to tell you that. Mm-hmm. What he's going to do is he's going to do just like what Head Sanford says. He says, I'm going to tell you I'm not ready for a relationship. Right. And what he's going to do is, and see, this is what I call, it's the biggest reverse psychology mind screw of all time. Mm-hmm. They just keep putting you off with the relationship side of it, hoping that eventually you'll get tired of it and either walk away naturally where they haven't had anything to lose, and then they have a notch in their belt, and then you get frustrated and you're grown enough to say, well, it is what and was what it was. So that's why people mess up, because people don't go in and tell their true agendas. They just go out and play out their agenda. And then what happens is when they're ready to bounce around, then they sit around here and leave you hanging. And see, again, what have I always told you guys about friends with benefits relationships? There are time limits on them. Because once you go past that time limit, you're risking a person starting to like you. Because here's the thing. It's just like a marriage. You know how they say in marriages, we were making love all the time before we got married. As soon as we started getting married, we didn't make love no more. Yeah. I pray you don't have to find that out here, Sam, for your next marriage. So I'm not trying to do you. I'm just saying.
I found that out in the first marriage. So.
Oh, Lord help Jesus. So anyway, we find that out and we listen to that, and all that is coming through.
Yeah, it is all over the air.
Yeah, right over the air. And I mean, this. People, I'm a karate chop some people for this day is over with. Mm-hmm. It comes out what Loren said. It's called the carrot at the stick routine. I don't have to. Here, look at this verse. Look at it this way. If I like you, and I mean I can like you enough to sleep with you, but if I don't like you enough to date you, I can keep you there, especially if I'm getting something out of you. All I have to do is I don't have to give you a relationship. All I have to do is give you the promise that there's a relationship on the horizon. Right. And if I know you like me that much, you'll stay there until you get tired.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you either figure out it's not working or you just getting ready to move on. So I've heard so many people say this, and we're going to put this out here, that, your relationship is best when people don't know your business. And they try to put in that hat when people don't know who you're dating, which really to me is lie. It's not really that thing. Right. Because here's the point. Relationships are best when people don't know the privacy business that goes on in your relationship, not who you're dating. People try to throw their hat out there because, and tell you the truth, let me put it out here, advocates. People put that out there because they usually got more than one person they're dating in the hat. So that's why they don't want to do it. I'm sorry if I had to throw a little shade out here for some people that don't want to hear that. But stops out here dating multiple people and then trying to hide who you're dating on Facebook. That's usually the way it works. Yeah. Am I wrong? Am I lying? Anybody want to correct Dango on this here?
No, that's true.
But I'm still saying, two people are adults.
Right.
If those two people got in a thing and it's working for both of them, it ain't our business.
No, I would care. Look, let me tell you something.
I'm just saying, regardless of whether or not feelings are coming, you deal with them as they come. But initially, if both of y'all sit and say, hey, look, since we're channeling old school music, I'm thinking about Weekend Girl by the SOS Band.
I'm thinking about Secret Lovers by Lennox Star.
Y'all don't know nothing about that, but y'all need to go check out that song. That's a bad cut right there.
They don't know nothing about it.
But I'm just simply saying you just got time for the weekend.
Right.
So that's how it is. That's how it's going to be. Boom. Then if things start changing, then you two as adults, you go and you talk to one another and say, hey, look, I'm catching feelings. How you feeling? If he or she says, hey, I ain't feeling it, hey, that's y'all.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So you believe that the person just cut off the freaky diggy altogether when that person tells them that?
That's their choice.
Yeah. No, I didn't say that's their choice. I said, do you think they should do that?
It depends. It depends. If then you have that conversation again. Well, look, baby, I ain't feeling that right now. If you think this is a problem, then maybe we need to stop seeing each other like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's easy to do.
Right.
To me, I mean.
Right.
But
that's the problem. You got some people that just don't want to go away. When you tell them it's time to go away.
I agree. Excuse me.
Are you okay?
I agree. I feel like we're speaking of consenting adults. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist and a really, really dense person eventually catches on. They know when it's going nowhere. He or she knows that it's going nowhere. Now, the fantasy image that you gave me was of The Rock. The Wonderful Rock.
Do I really need to hear this right now?
So let's say if The Rock was giving me the business and he was keeping me in line with the business.
With the business.
And it became apparent to me, unspoken words, it became apparent to me that I was never going to be in a full relationship with this man. But were his goods good enough to hold me in place? I just might have to stay in place with a smile for a little while. But then when I decide that the goods aren't enough, then yes, I will go elsewhere. But however, if another person chose to stay in that situation and that was enough for them, I would not judge them because I am not in their relationship. I am not, I don't have the right to say what's right for their life. That no one has the right to say that. Adults do all kinds of things.
Stupid things, most importantly.
Well, in your opinion.
In my opinion.
In your opinion, but we all have
Well, let me ask you a question. Hold on. So this is my opinion.
I agree with her.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
so you betraying me today, huh? See what I'm saying?
I'm just saying that, okay, it's full disclosure. And what you said, nobody says that. Unfortunately, that's not true, honey. A lot of people have said that. Look, this is all I have to offer you. You can leave or you can stay. And some people choose to stay. It's an ugly truth, but it's a truth.
No. I'm not saying that that's not what people say. You're absolutely right.
There are those that will put it out there on the line. You ain't never getting no more out of me than what you get after dark. That's it. I won't be seen out in public.
But here's my point.
I won't be dating you.
Hold on. That's the first thing. Hold on, Rock. Hold on, Dwayne Johnson. Just calm down. That may be true, but when did they tell you that? They tell you at the beginning, or they tell you when they get into it?
They might have told you at any point in time, but the fact is, if the other party chooses to stay, and like I said, those words can be spoken or unspoken because actions do speak louder than words. And I'm a female. I have male friends and female friends. I have female friends who have found themselves in that situation with a man. I know females that a man that has been messing with them for years will not even be seen at McDonald's.
Wow.
Getting chicken nuggets with them. Whoa. But guess what? They stay right there. So why you complaining? You choose to stay there.
Yeah,
you know that this man will not go out in public with you. He won't even ride in the car with you because your tent ain't dark enough. But if you choose, to stay with him, if you choose to stay with him, then I'm sorry, you have no dog in the fight. You just relinquish your choice. Shut up and enjoy the goods, boo.
But
that's how it works.
That's the thing. I have total agreement with you that majority of these relationships are what people choose to allow.
Yes.
And here's the thing: if you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're sitting around here finding that the person that you just sleeping with ends up being a breakup. I mean, a breakup, because in order to be a breakup, you have to be together. Okay. To find out to be a breakup, then you need to be smarter about the choices and the things you allow. A young sister of mine told me something very interesting about a year and a half ago. She told me, she said, Django, you ugly. I'm just saying. She said, let me tell you this. She said, that at the age of 40 and above, people shouldn't be out here having friends with benefits relationships. You're too old for that. She said, no, wait a minute. Okay, Rock, you hold on because I know
she must not be above 40.
No, she's above 40.
Is she?
Yeah, and she says she will not go out here and have relationships that are going to go nowhere.
Did she have a relationship?
No, and that's the point.
But look, okay, so she wasn't getting no benefits, so she was salty.
No, but
salty, dry, and dusty.
But you have to understand, you have to give her integrity that she is not going to allow herself to be with somebody who's not going to value her, who's not going to respect her. And if that means, here's the problem.
Right.
Here's the problem.
But that's just her. That's her.
But you can be in a friends with benefits relationship where someone values and respects you.
Right, you can.
Just because we give in the business don't mean we don't respect each other.
But not in this scenario when a person has already written you off for anything more than just having sex. So, and then when I find out.
But you know how guys.
You need to text her and tell her you're on the air.
They'll say, well, they'll say, I want a relationship, and you start doing everything in the relationship like people do, going out, spending a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. And then they'll start pulling back, saying, "Nah, I really didn't want a relationship."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, and that's the problem.
And sometimes it's 3 kids later.
Yep,
3 kids, a house,
3
4
kids
cars,
later,
a dog, a hamster,
man,
pets,
how you roll
PTA,
up in that?
And then all of a sudden, well, I didn't want a relationship. A lot of people feel like just because they don't put their name on paper, they don't get the marriage license. Right. They feel like it was never really a relationship anyway, because remember, you are single until you are legally married. You live together, you single. Y'all got 10 kids together, you single. You bought a car
take that out of
together.
our room?
You say, I'm quoting it. I'm trying to quote it word for word, but my memory not that good. But y'all know where I'm going with this. Doesn't matter what you do, you still single.
Yeah, you're single.
I can put you as a beneficiary on
Some
my life
people
insurance.
married and still single.
Yeah, married but living a single life.
Yes,
Yes,
but let me ask you this though: if y'all living together and y'all committed to each other, but y'all don't have a marriage license, do that give you the reason to go out and date anybody you want though?
Huh?
That depends on which state.
Right, depending on what your state law.
Because if you
common law married,
if you live in some states for, I think 7
to 10 years usually,
it can be common law. So.
If you cohabitate.
Yeah, you cohabitate, especially in the South. The region of family values, they will allow you to cohabitate and consider it common law marriage.
And I've seen insurance plans where in certain states you're considered common law. If you can prove that you've resided with this person for this number of years, then you can actually share their benefits, be their beneficiary, and you get all the benefits of a spouse. And I think it's more common than people realize. It's not outlawed in all states.
Right. And that's where the issue comes into. You're right, and that's why I think where the problem is when we talk about the respect factor in it. I was listening to one of my friends this morning, Mr. Jimmy Henn, as I'm going to call him, and he was preaching in the Keeping It Real Ministries, and he was talking about this, and he was saying this toward the women, but I'm kind of appreciative that he was saying it toward the women because so much he tried to give women enlightenment on the men. Mm-hmm. And he said, women, stop sitting around here going after these guys just based on basically, and this is the paraphrase as he was saying it. He said, stop going after these guys based on what your attraction because you want what you want. And then find out that dude is not sound. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that's what happens. Yeah. I told a friend of mine earlier this week, I said, what difference does it matter if a person is irresistibly attracted to a person if they don't respect you? What's the reason of you being irresistibly attracted to a person that won't treat you good? What's the point of being irresistibly attracted to a person who's just a dressed up piece of crap in a suit? You know what I'm saying? But you want to run behind them and you want to make a relationship happen. And then guess what? Then you come up to him and say, hey, I'm interested in you. And guess what? And see, let me give you ladies a little Django Logic 101. Stop running around here because men, we sense desperate women. Men sense. Let me repeat that again for the people in the back. We sense desperate women. Yes. And if a man knows a woman is sitting around here following him around, picks him out of a crowd of 50 guys, makes it known to him that she wants a relationship probably more or better than he does, guess what he gonna do? Yeah. He gonna give her whatever she thinks he wants, and then the minute she sits around here and she get him, she not gonna keep him. Yeah.
And Django, as much as I hate to agree with you,
as much as you hate to agree with me,
as much as I hate to agree with you, what you just said is true, and I think I mentioned it to someone not too long ago that, and I'm not meaning this for all black women, but I'm saying that the majority perception of black women is an absolute desperation it's like there is a fear of not catching and at least being in a relationship. The ultimate goal is to marry a black man. But it's like it has become the goal in life for so many black women that it's pitiful. Right. And I am a black woman. I could care less if I ever got married again. It would be nice if I did, but I'm not living and breathing and waiting for the day. You know, and if I do get married, if I do have another marriage, I don't limit myself.
You was married before?
Yes.
Did you kill him?
We're not going to talk about my backyard or my garden, okay?
Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is that... and the vegetables grow really big.
That reminds me, though, but, you know, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I was watching... I'm sorry, that was going to be too deep.
You're going to go deep on it?
Go right ahead. But it was about being cremated as opposed to being buried. But anyway.
Okay. You good? You okay?
Okay, yeah.
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm all right.
Tell us about your CSI moment. Go ahead.
But what I was saying about that, sometimes it's embarrassing. I am a black woman. I know so many black women, and they literally live in desperation to get married. You know, we are all, you know, in my peers, my peers are all over 30. You know, the bulk of my friends are over 40, but I do have some that are over 30. I don't really, you know, mess around with the little young girls too much. Right. But the desperation, to be honest, it's embarrassing. Right. It's literally embarrassing. And what you said, I have seen women chase a man down till the poor brother couldn't run no more. I done seen them stick out their foot, tripping. When his leg broke, they jump on him, take him to the hospital, get a cast put on his leg, and drag him to their house. If he ain't got no hair, they hook their hand under his arms, and they going to get that man by any means necessary.
They going to get that man?
And then, hold on, then when they get something, and hold on, they not prepared for the demon that they have brought into their home, brought into their life. Wow. But I'm like, hold on, baby, hold on. You chased this man down.
Chase him down.
You watched him, you waited until he was at a low point, and you became the strength that he needed. You filled in all his holes. You did this, you did that. You made sure that this man, when he was at his weakest point, you made sure that you were his strength. And when he got with you and you let yourself be used, you got back up on your feet and he used you, and he was simply what he was. A lot of these men and women too, I'm not trying to single out the men. I'm just using that example because I've seen it happen. Yeah. You know, like they said about the snake that bit the lady after she nursed it back to health. What did that snake tell her? You knew I was a snake when you helped me. You know, and that goes for all of us. And I'm sorry, when you get past a certain age, and we're going to say when you get out of your 20s, you have no more excuses for stupidity, for just being dumb, goofy, lame, dumb. I'm sorry,
a crash test dummy.
You can see that a duck is a duck, and you know what? They once again, here I am. We doing a throwback. I'm gonna go back to an old saying: when people show you who they are, believe them. Don't think they're joking. Don't think they lying. Believe them. If people would believe people the first time,
right, they would save themselves a lot of problems.
Man. Yeah. And the truth about
you see this Ron down say you preaching.
Okay.
You can't come back here no more.
But you know that's I'm just saying those true colors, they don't change.
No, the true colors of people don't change.
You can wash them off, they might fade, but baby, the stripes on a cat's skin, they come from the stripes in the fur come from the skin. They grow up. If you shave a cat, if you shave a cat, baby, those stripes are on the skin. It grows from the inside out.
What about if it's a goat? Do I take the stripes off the goat?
We're not gonna go there with the goats. Okay. That's your little thing.
Okay, so I'm just saying you're right, and people show, and then you got women trying to get men that they still want to be in situationships with, and then get the guy. Remember that law called the law of diminished returns? You know what that law states? That the more you get something, the less you want it.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's what people do. I've seen women sit around here and break guys.
I wouldn't say that because I love German chocolate cake, and the more I get German chocolate cake, the more I want it. I'm just saying, okay? So that ain't always true.
Right.
It just depends on how good it is.
It depends how good it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it's sweet potato.
And it ain't got to be German chocolate cake. It could be like key lime pie.
Hey, you know, I got some corn lime made. You know
what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I got the bomb.
I'm just saying.
Come get it. Like I said, it's the gift that keeps giving. Yeah. And you know, and what I'm saying is I've seen guys and girls, and well, this particular for females, not guys particular, because we got our egos too much in the equation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen women come and break guys up out of their marriages. I've seen women come and break guys up out of their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen women sit around here and stay the other chick while the guy's in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about for a couple of months because the guy knows the relationship's over. I'm talking about will stay there and keep herself a party to it. I have seen women that chase guys that they know got girlfriends and stay around looking for them to drop or the woman to drop the ball so they can be there. Okay? I have seen that. And then sit around here, and then as soon as they get the guy, then they wonder why, one, the guy's a cheater and a dog. It ends up dumping them. Or number two, they end up finding out that, after they done played with him enough, they don't want him.
Or like you said earlier at the beginning of the show, you said it when people go into this situation with full disclosure. In other words, they know what they're getting. Yeah. A lot of people figure that it's better the devil that you know than the demon that you don't. Think about it.
Well, the devil is bigger than the demon, I think. The demon is just a minion.
Then swap it out, sweetie. You want to play it. But what I'm saying is no good is no good. But a lot of people think, well, at least I know this one. I know what's going on with this one instead of going out and getting another one and starting all over because they're all rotten apples.
They're all rotten apples.
That's why so many people stick around for things that are really not serving them, but they feel like it's better than having nothing. And I think your next topic that you should go into when you wrap up this series is adults who can't deal with the fear of being alone. Right. And therefore they
let's do that next week.
They will accept will accept anything.
Well, put it like
anything short of a teddy bear.
You know what? You need Jesus. Okay, hold on.
She's right though.
Yeah, she preaching today. That's why you can't come back no more. I'm sorry. Look.
I'm sorry, but I've been black womaning for a long time.
Well, I'm just saying. Like I said, my man Jimmy Henn. I see he joined us today. I want to appreciate him for doing that. He preached it this morning, and like I said, people wanting what they want, and when you want what you want. Like I said, God give you the desires of your heart. Sometimes that ain't always the good thing. Okay, we epitomizing it with Trump. You know what I'm saying? He gave a lot of people in this country the desires of their heart and see what we got. So understand this and understand that this is what it is. The reason why people stay in stuff like people who will sleep with you and long term and not offer you a relationship, not even give you typically what happens is, and this is the way I do it, and we're going to take a break after this. What I end up finding out is usually if you're sleeping with a person long enough and getting to know them, there's certain red flags and traits that will make you decide down the line whether or not you want to date them or whether or not, well, maybe it's just probably best for us just to be friends with benefits because I can tell on a long-term basis I'm not going to want to deal with this. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't rule them out because the way I see it, if I'm going to be bold enough, if I respect them enough to sleep with them, then I should respect them enough to at least give them a consideration. You see what I'm saying? Because, look, let me tell you something. And I'm saying this, and we're doing this because we're getting ready to approach a little-known holiday called Sweetness Day, which is a reverse Valentine's Day. I don't know if many of y'all know about what Sweetness Day is. Mm-hmm. Sweetness Day is prevalent in the North. Look at Dave. Dave just frowned up. Sweetness Day is prevalent in the North. Because I found out about it when I went to law school in Michigan. I'm like, Sweetness Day, what is that? And it's in September. And what Sweetness Day is when basically the girls basically adorn the men.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I heard about that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the day where, like the women take guys out. It's kind of like Sadie Hawkins.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a reverse.
Yeah.
It's a reverse.
Oh,
but I never heard about, even in New York, but it's prevalent in the Midwest. It's called Sweetness Day.
Well, they call it Sadie Hawkins.
Boy, get away.
They do.
Yeah. That's what we call it down south.
What do they call it?
Sadie Hawkins.
We call it Sadie Hawkins. Up north, they call it Sweetness.
They have Sadie. You've never heard of a Sadie Hawkins dance?
No.
That's where the girl actually invites the guy to the dance, and she does all the things.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so see,
I'm a New Yorker now.
Sweetness Day. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's
same
difference. That's what's in the North. So what
you
I'm
have
saying,
a caller, by the way.
You what?
Yeah.
Okay, take that. Get under there.
Working even after you're shut down?
Well, that ain't the caller.
That ain't the caller.
All right. Now you. All right.
Devil's advocate, who this? Hello?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, hell.
Hey,
What's
man,
going on,
if
bro?
you go further south, they got what's called a Sade Hawkins dance where all the black girls and the black guys. It's pretty dope. And they listen to hip-hop and R&B all night.
What's going on,
It's an
Stan?
all-black school, though. You can't have no Trump supporters at that school. It might get violent.
So how's everything going down there in the land of the Lone Star?
Man, I'm actually taking like 3 cars to Houston to see if I can put them in lost and found.
Boy, stop. Yeah, you can go down there and get them flood damage real quick. So
Right, I'm trying to get all 3 of them traded in so I can get me a Hyundai Sonata. For the
that's what I'm talking about, boy. Hey, yeah, you know, you got that affair coming up, so we need to go and get you right for that, boy. Make sure it's black. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, who you telling, man? Who you telling?
Shoot. So talk to me. And what do you think about this? What do you think about somebody that wants to sit around here and let you give them the business, like they give you the business long term, and will never even consider you as boo, marriage, husband, wifey material, and told you that?
I think it depends on how old you are. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in my 50s and we just kind of hanging out, then hey, cool. I ain't got to leave no money to your estate. If I'm younger and I still got some tread on my tire, I need to get my car rolling somewhere else. Because I can promise you this: if your boy Stanley ever get back on the market, it's gonna be a long, long time for somebody to put their name next to my name in an obituary. That's all I'm gonna do.
So
I'm a huge Noel Jones fan, man. Huge.